Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 5:30. We're going to go ahead and start the planning and zoning meeting. All right, can we please stand for the invocation?
Yes. Our Father, who art in heaven, we come before you, Lord, this evening, asking for you to guide our hearts and our minds, Lord Jesus, as we make decisions for our city and for the citizens here, Lord. Help us do what's right and pleasing in your eye. In Jesus' holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Will you please stand for the pledge of allegiance? Please stand. Pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We're also going to do the Texas, pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, one and indivisible.
All right, please be seated. Before we get started, do we have any visitors here tonight that want to speak something not on the agenda? Do we have anybody that wants to speak on any subject or matter not on the agenda tonight? No one out there? Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go to item 5, the adoption of the minutes from last month. Do you have any questions in regard to that, commissioners? No? Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
I have a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Approved. Okay. We're going to go ahead and continue to 6.1. We're going to conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a zone change from townhouse residential CH-12 to retail. The property is located at 500 West Nash, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, DC 23-09.
Good evening, Commissioners. I thank you for joining us this evening. Before you, we have a zone change request. On page in front of you right there, you will see the area in question is in red. This is going to be the corner of Hattie and Nash Street. So just down the road, Moore Street is going to be at the bottom of your screen, and High is just north of it. The applicant came forward. We had a conversation about the current zoning of townhouse on the property, and they expressed that this building had been used on and off throughout the years for commercial retail purposes. We went back and tried to look for when the zoning was changed to townhome. The closest thing that we could find was a map from early 2000 that showed the townhome map on there. I was working with our engineering department and our GIS analyst to try to find when that really was intact. We've been still searching for the actual ordinance, but that was the closest thing that we came to in finding it. And so going back and talking to them, they were concerned about the future of the property, and so I let them know that you were more than welcome to apply for a zoning change, and so that's why we are here. We looked at the area zoning for the property on the next page. We see that that entire block is zoned for townhome. However, if you look across the street and just across Hattie and across Nash, you'll see that whole area red is going to be zoned for retail. So it is a retail area. If you look at the current uses there, there's a mix of residential and a mix of retail throughout there. So 12 letters were sent out to adjacent property owners. We did not receive anything back that is in your packet. However, if we look at the next page on your future land use map, you'll see that that specific property is in the traditional neighborhood area, and the area around it, which is not very far off, just across the street, that line purple is going to be a mixed use downtown. So it does fall in line on the border of where the applicant is wanting to go. So based off of the future land use map and what the area is showing right now, staff does recommend approval of the requested zone change.
Over the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak in favor of? Come on up, please. State your name and your address, please, ma'am.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Brooke Seapack. I actually own the property at 500 West Nash. And it was built in 1966 as a dental office, and it's always been commercial, retail. And I didn't even realize that there was a zone change. And whenever I called to do some digging, I was told, as she said, that it was apparently changed prior to 2000, and actually owned the property in 2000 and didn't have any notification at all. So that was surprising to me. But the property is always, there's a freestanding building there, and that entire block that you're looking at, the rest of that is completely vacant, with the exception of one house there on the back part of that block that the Methodist Church uses for the Boy Scouts to meet, I believe. So that building has always been commercial, retail. There's no shower, no bathtub in the bathroom. So it's never been residential. So, thank you.
Do you have anyone else who wants to speak in favor? No? Okay. Do we have anybody in the audience that wants to speak not in favor? No? Okay. Public hearing closed. Action item 6.2. Discuss and consider the ordinance number 3025, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, amending Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell by changing the zoning classification of certain real property, more particularly described as Lot 2C, Block 98, Western Addition, to the City of Terrell, and also known as 500 West Nash Street, as shown on the plat attached hereto as Exhibit A, and made a part of hereof for all purpose from townhome residential TH-12 to retail, providing the servability and providing an effective date.
I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't have anything further on this, but I will answer any questions or concerns.
My only question might be, is there a way to, I know we can't do that here because there hasn't been an applicant, but for future zoning so that they don't have to do this, that whole block seems to be better use in this purpose. Is there a way we can look into that for the future? I mean,
Yes, sir.
like I said, there's not anybody using it for residential. This is the time to do it. I'd love to just scoot that over and.
Absolutely. We can do a city-initiated rezoning, which would be a little bit of a process, but we're happy to reach out to the property owners, let them know our thoughts, and we can either do a city-initiated rezone of the whole block, or we can encourage the applicants and let them know their options as well. But staff will definitely take that and roll with it.
Because I think the one across the street, the other direction is already retail as well, so I mean, it might be, if I remember right, the one on Hattie, the other side of Hattie, I think it's already retail, so. It's the dentist office and the Jones current. Yeah, so
Perfect.
I think that's a pretty good no-brainer.
Absolutely. Staff will look into it, and we will update you guys. Yes, sir.
It is. The Methodist Church owns that entire block with the exception of my building.
So they may not want that as a.
They may not want that.
I don't know what their future plans are there.
Well, there's none now that I'm aware of, but it's, the church owned it with the intent of some point in time building some kind of a building. That may not ever happen, or it could happen in the future. So I'm not sure. At that time, it would have to be rezoned for whatever,
Yeah, I was about to say, that'd be even a.
whatever that was, higher than that.
So the intent, my grandfather donated the entire block to the Methodist Church with the intent to build a family life center, which hasn't come to fruition. And then it was rezoned after that as townhomes at some point in time.
Amari, would that be neighborhood services for like a church use building?
I believe, if I, don't quote me on this, but if I remember correctly, your church is a protected use, and so per zoning ordinance, it can go in any zoning for that use. Residential or commercial retail.
Well, then before staff initiates that makes sense. If it's one big owner, it's an easy question.
Yeah, we'd have to spend a lot more time on it than just, with being a church, it's gonna take a little bit more vetting out to determine how we go about doing that. And if it even wants to do that.
Any other questions for staff? Do I hear a motion on the floor?
I move that we approve ordinance number 3025 regarding a zone change from townhouse residential to retail to property located at 500 West Nash, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas.
I have a motion to approve ZC 23-09. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion approved. Okay. We're gonna move on to item 6.3. We're gonna conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a zone change from agricultural AG to retail. The property is located at 15721 State Highway 205, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, ZC 23-10. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioners, before you, we have a specific use permit request. If you look on your property there in front of you, we have 3922 West US Highway 80. That map's not lining up. I'm so sorry, give me 1 second. I think my agenda might have gotten out of order, I apologize.
Go to page 50.
That's what I'm looking for. I apologize. My agenda got out of order and I just realized it. On page 50, we have a specific use permit. No, we have a zone change, item 6.3, from agricultural to retail at 15721 Highway 205. I think the staff report is the incorrect one, but my maps seem to be lining up with the actual agenda item. So I apologize, but I will go through the item and just ignore the staff report on that item. On your screen, I'm sorry, Katie, will you go back to page 25?
The old Vamos Auto.
Yes, sir. This is the old Vamos Auto location. That's not matching up with what I have in front of you. Yes. The maps aren't lining up. You were right. It was on page 50. Sorry, I'm trying to go by the agenda. The pages are all messed up. So we are going to jump to page 50 so I can actually reference the maps. All right.
We're talking about the old Vamos.
Yes, sir. We are talking about the Vamos Auto. So item 6.3 is from agricultural to retail at a property 15721 Highway 205. No. I'm so sorry. I'm confusing myself. We are on 205.
Page 55. Are we not on 25? Page 25? Look at page 25.
We are on page 25. The staff report is confusing me because that doesn't go with this item. My apologies. Page 25, let's start there. I'm going based off 6.3. I will unconfuse myself. All right, so 15721 State Highway 205 is a zone change request. We're going from agricultural to retail. This property was recently annexed into the city. You can look on page 26 of your packet. This is the correct one. It's currently zoned ag. Whenever we annex a property into the city, we have to zone it ag. We met with the property owner a couple of weeks ago. They came forward saying they had plans prior to 2020 wanting to put up some kind of food restaurant establishment. COVID kind of got in the way. Now they're coming back, and now they're faced with being annexed into the city. We said, no worries, we will happily work with you. We met with them, we discussed their plans, and we came to the conclusion that the next step moving forward in order for them to get to their end goal is to rezone the property from agricultural to retail. If we look at the future land use map for this area, this, as I said, it was annexed, so this property was outside of the city limits. But if we look further down on our future land use map, the 205 area is gonna be called for retail along that corridor, which this property does face on 205. So if we're following the future land use map for that area, it does call for retail, and that's why staff is recommending approval of the zone change request based off of what the area is going to be looking like and from the discussions with the property owner.
Any questions for staff? I'm gonna open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak in favor of this zone change? All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak or wants to speak not in favor of this zone change? Okay. And the public hearing is closed. Action item, or item 6.4, discuss and consider ordinance number 3026, an ordinance of the city of Terrell, or city of Kaufman of the city of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, amending appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the city of Terrell by changing the zoning classification of certain real property, more particularly described as 1.69 acres of land out of the W.E. Sullivan Survey, A490 Kaufman County, Texas, also known as 15721 State Highway 205, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, as shown on the plat attached here to Exhibit A, and made a part hereof for all purpose from agricultural, AG, to retail, R, providing for their servability and providing an effective date. So we're just going from ag to retail.
Yes, sir. And one thing I will point out that I missed, just back in your packet on page 31, we did receive a letter in favor from an adjacent property owner, and that's in your packet for you to read, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner, we have any questions for staff?
Did city respond back to him? Because he seems like he has questions too.
It does. We have not reached out as of right now, but we are planning to reaching out to the property owner, answering their questions. Yes, sir.
Any other questions for staff? Do I have a motion on the floor?
I move that we approve ordinance number 3026 regarding zone change from agriculture to retail, property located at 15721 State Highway 205, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas.
I have a motion to approve ordinance 3026. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Item 6.5, conduct a public hearing to receive comments on a specific use permit to allow the use of bail bond service. The property is located at 607 West Moore Avenue, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, SUP 23-09.
Commissioners, we have a request for a specific use permit at 607 West Moore. If you look on your screen, the area in red is going to be, I don't know if you guys remember Acre Printing, that is the lot that is just to the right of the property. This property here, I think there's a sign out there right now that's for Man Cave, for a haircut barber shop. They're no longer in operation. Before that, it was a boutique store. That information came from the property owner that we met with a couple of weeks ago. Since this request came in, we did encourage them to meet with us and just kind of discuss the logistics of what was really going here, what they needed to do to the building, what was going to be required in order for them to actually make it over the finish line. So we did meet with them, and we they decided to move forward with it, so they did apply for an SUP. Per the zoning ordinance, a specific use permit does require a bail bond service to be applied for in a commercial zoning, which is what this area is for. On the next page of your packet, you'll see the future land use map there does call for this area to be a mixed-use downtown. By definition, in your zoning ordinance, bail bonds is a service arranged by an agent promising money or property to ensure that that person named in a legal action appears in court for their designated criminal proceeding at the date and time specified. We also included in your packet ordinance 2653. You can find that on page 42. That is an ordinance that the city passed back in 2016 that sets that zoning, that sets that wording for the definition of a bail bonds use. After meeting with them, we moved forward with the application and 16 letters were sent out. We have not received any letters to date as of right now. And based on the future land use map and the discussions with the property owner as well as the applicant, staff does recommend approval of this request. And I do want to let you guys know that there will be a couple of steps before they're able to fully move in and get a CO. But the zoning is going to be a step in the right direction. So they will have to come back and just do a few minor changes. But other than that, it should be good to go. And I will answer questions after the public hearing.
And over the public hearing, is there anyone in the audience that wants to come up and speak in favor of the SUP 2309?
Patrick Hill. I am the current co-founder of Southern Bail Bonds in Dallas, Texas. My mother in the back, been doing this since 2012. Basically what we want to do is just come into a smaller town. We have 2 offices in Dallas, and we actually had a meeting for our new headquarters this morning in Dallas, and we got approval for that one. So long story short, what we're going to do is just bring big city tactics to a smaller town and see if we can, try to add some value, maybe do some scholarships, giveaways, for school, backpacks, stuff like that. Is there anything we can do to kind of help, around here in this city? And we do take pride in being a Black-owned bail bond company. Not to say that we're favoring a specific group, but there are not very many, but we are the largest in North Texas. We want to come to here, to Terrell, to set up shop, be here for a long time. It is very possible that one of you may need us. Not you, but you may know somebody else that may need us. Law of averages says so. We're very easy to deal with. You can read our reviews. We're at the top. We take pride in our work. So far, the experience that we've had in Terrell has been, we're not used to the niceness. We're not used to great attitudes. We haven't had any bad experiences so far. Of course, it's a totally different story in Dallas. But we come here to bring a service and be an addition to the community as much as possible. Any drives, anybody, normally when we're up and running and Google sees that we're there, we get phone calls from locals, from Sheriff's Department, Police Department, to participate in the local elections and stuff like that, and we do. So we just want to give you all our good graces and thank y'all for at least giving us a chance to come here.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Anybody else on the floor that wants to come up and speak in favor? Thank you, ma'am. Please state your name.
My name is Krista Nix, and I just represent the owner of that property. And just wanted to let you know that our dealings with Patrick and Karen have been really, really awesome, very professional. They seem to have a very professional business if you check out their website. And we do also own, the company is BCL Real Estate. Unfortunately, the owner wasn't able to come tonight, but I do work really closely with him. And we were the ones that met with the city earlier. And we do also own where the printing company was, and where the Texas Car Title Company is. We own that building as well. So I did receive my letter, and I would approve this business coming next door. They actually share the parking lot. And just an update, we learned at the last meeting that we would need to put some stone on the front of the building and the side of the buildings and building, and you can see that that process has already started to happen. And I spoke with the contractor, and they hope to have that completed by early next week. And so hopefully that would be the last step in them getting their certificate of occupancy, should they be able to to move forward. I think there's one other thing, a grounding of a wire or something. But as far as a property owner, we would welcome them. They've been nothing but a pleasure to deal with so far, and they're not even officially our tenant, so.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your time, ma'am. Okay. Do we have anyone else want to speak in favor? Okay. Do we have anybody in the audience that wants to speak, or that wants to come forward not in favor of SUP 23-09? No? Okay. Public hearing is closed now. Action item 6.6, discuss and consider ordinance 3028, an ordinance of the City of Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, granting a specific use permit under the provision of 13B Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell to Patrick Denard Hill, I'm sorry if I pronounced the name wrong, allowing an exception to the provision of Section 29 Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell for certain property located at 607 Westmore Avenue, the same also known as Lot C, Block 118, western addition to the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, by permitting a Bells Bond Company to be located on said property, currently zoned as commercial, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing for servability, and providing an effective date and excluding any requirements for landscaping that might otherwise be required.
Commissioners, I am happy to answer any questions.
Can you tell me why the landscaping is being excluded?
Yes, ma'am. So if we look at the existing property as it stands today, when we met with the property owner as well as the applicant, we looked at the property, and based off of our zoning ordinance, there is a requirement for the landscaping. Now, if you are looking at the building, it is completely parking, it is all concrete. We, as staff, would recommend for that ordinance to carry as it is, because it would be more to go ahead and put the owner through having to dig up the concrete, put in landscaping in order to meet the requirements. So with the SUP, we can kind of modify and change kind of like a variance, more or less, to the zoning ordinance. And both parties felt that that would be a comparable decision in order to move forward with it.
Well, what I know is that you can do planter boxes, and so that would provide a 10-foot of landscaping that's required in that facility, so that would be my suggestion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions for staff?
If I'm remembering right, I think what we were talking about, for the previous tenant, it was a hair salon, and they had put a handicap ramp right in front. And so and it seems like the boxes were discussed, and it seems like it was mentioned that if we were to put boxes there, that it wouldn't leave much room for that, enough room for that ramp to be effective. But I could be wrong.
I know that when I had,
We briefly discussed in our meeting
Yeah.
that we would do something. The owner has come forward and elected just facade all three sides all the way up
okay,
and make a substantial improvement to their building.
And it's going to be the all stone too.
And, requirement is just minimum of 5 feet, 60 inches. They elected to say, we're just gonna facade, then whatever tenant comes down the road, they move on to a bigger, better place, and they wanna replace another tenant. They've already set it up for any type of zoning for the future.
so is
So
it,
they've made their improvements. So as far as the landscaping, they have a little patch of grass that is right against the highway.
Right. Oh, I understand that one.
So we did
Yeah.
talk about having some type of planter box, but I think it was after we get everything done, then you can see what you can assess of what can be installed there. Wouldn't hinder any ADA type of issues.
I would just like that to happen because it's such a huge concrete area. And it just, you know, with an oil station and a car tile alone, it would just be so much better if we could have some sort of landscaping or something. I know that the brick is gonna make it look better, but just the green space would be, you know, my preference.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else, have any questions? Any commissioners have any questions for staff? Regards to SUP 23-09? Okay, do I have a motion on the floor?
I would move that we approve ordinance numbers 3028 for the special use permit for the bail bond company.
Okay, I have a motion to approve SUP 23-09. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Nope, motion carries. Okay, 6.7. We're going to conduct a public hearing to receive comments of a specific use permit to allow the use of an auto repair minor. The property is located at 3922 West US Highway 80, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. SUP 23-10.
Commissioners, now you really have SUP 2310 before you. The request before you is coming from the applicant at 3922 West US Highway 80. They have submitted a request for a specific use permit to allow the use of an auto repair minor. Auto repair minor is allowed in commercial, heavy commercial, and light industrial by right, and the use is only allowed with a specific use permit and highway corridor. This property in red before you is currently zoned highway corridor. It does front on US Highway 80, and it is, it backs up to that County Road 247. Metro Drive is just south of there. Everything south, on the next page, you'll see the zoning for it. Everything south of there is going to be light industrial. That's what that light purple is. And the property, along with everything west, is gonna be highway corridor. The applicant currently has a CO on the property for a used car dealership, and they are wanting to do auto repair minor. The definition in the zoning ordinance, I won't read you that very long, fun list. Basically, you can do minor oil changes and such. You basically can't take the car apart. You can just fix the car within. So anything that won't require me to take the car apart or paint is what is going to be allowed. Oil changes, air tires, fluids, stuff like that. 3 letters were sent out to adjacent property owners within 200 feet. Nothing was received back as of today. If we look on the next page, the future land use map does call for this area to be local retail and office, which does fall in line with their request. They would be adding this use to their current used dealership. They wouldn't be taking that away from what we met with them and what we understood. So staff does recommend approval of this request in order to move forward, and I will answer any questions after the public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, I'm up with the public hearing. Is there anyone out in the public that, or in the audience that'd like to speak in favor of this or, SUP 23-10? No, okay. Anyone out there want to speak not in favor of SUP 23-10? No, okay. We'll now close the public hearing. Move over to 6.8, discuss and consider ordinance number 3029, an ordinance to the City of Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, granting a specific use permit under the provision of 31B Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell, Texas, to B&B Properties LP, allowing an exception to the provision of Section 28 Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell for certain properties located at 3922 West US Highway 80, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. The same being further described as .306 of an acre of land of 13,351 square feet situated within the D. Danwood Survey A-123, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, as shown on the plat thereof attached hereto as Exhibit A and made a part hereof for all purpose by permitting an auto repair minor facility to be located on said property currently zoned as highway courier, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing for the severability, and providing an effective date. Commissioners, do you have any questions for staff? So we're doing, just adding, they're just gonna be doing auto repair in the, what they're doing now, so. Do you have any questions or? Nothing, okay. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Move that we approve ordinance number 3029, granting the specific use permit to allow the use of an auto repair minor. The property is located at 3922 West US Highway 80, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas.
Okay, I have a motion to approve SUP 23-10. Any, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Now we're at 6.9. We're going to conduct a public hearing to receive comments on the specific use permit to allow the use of an auto repair. The property is located at the Home Depot, Lot 2, Block A, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas. SUP 23-11. We're going from a small to a minor, or small to a major, sorry.
I'm just trying to keep things interesting for you guys.
Right.
Commissioners, before you, we have a specific use request for a specific use permit on this property. Just so we know where we are here, Interstate 20 is going to be there at the south portion of your screen. Highway 34, that intersection is just off your screen at the bottom right. Windsor Avenue is going to be that road that takes you to Home Depot, that big white building on the left-hand side, that's going to be Home Depot. Now, the applicant is not Home Depot. They just own the property currently. We have met with, I can never pronounce this, Clavier Collision is the group that is wanting to put an auto repair shop major there at that location, and they would be buying the property from Home Depot. And so they came forward wanting to do an auto repair major, which by right is allowed in light industrial and in heavy commercial, and it does require an SUP in commercial. And this property on the next page, you can see, one more, is zoned for commercial. Future land use map does call for highway corridor, and the auto repair major, by definition, basically I can take my car apart in this one. So I can do tire rotations, I can do transmission repairs, I can do that sort of thing. So that is why the SUP is needed on this. We did send out 3 letters. There have been none that we have received. And like I stated, the future land use map does designate this property for highway commercial, which this would be a new build. The property is currently vacant, so they would have to meet all of the zoning requirements for that zoning. And staff does recommend this approval. I will point out in your packet on page, here in the back over here, page 70, they have a site plan that they have submitted that we would be happy to include here. You can see that they have access throughout the property, parking, kind of where their building would sit. I will also emphasize these plans are not final. Nothing is tying them to this. This is just a major site plan showing you an idea of what they are. Again, they would have to go through all of the building, fire, zoning codes in order to be able to move forward, get permits, do all that fun stuff. The next step in this process would be for them to final plat this property. It is currently just one piece of property, and they're only buying that bottom portion that you see that site plan in. So if they do move forward with this, you'll see them come back as the final plat, a construction plat, and then you'll see it go vertical. And I'll answer any questions after we do the public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, now we're going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone in on the, that wants to come up and speak in favor of this, of SUP 23-11? Good evening, sir. Your name, please.
Jack Zanker, 2949 Parkwood Boulevard, Frisco, Texas. I'm with Triangle Engineering. I'm here to answer any questions. We appreciate your time considering this SUP, and hope to be able to work with you in the future on this development. So I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, sir. We have anyone else wants to speak in favor of SUP 23-11? Okay, is there anyone wants to speak not in favor of SUP 23-11? No, okay. Hearing's not closed. Public hearing's not closed, sorry. Okay, item 6.10, discuss and consider ordinance number 3027, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, granting a specific use permit under the provision of 31B Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell to Home Depot USA, Inc., allowing the exception of the provision of Section 29, Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell for certain property located at 151 Windsor Avenue, the same also being known as Lot 2, Block A, Home Depot of Terrell, addition to the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, by permitting an auto repair major to be located on the said property currently zoned as commercial. C, providing for a repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing for servability, and providing an effective date. Commissioners, any questions for staff?
Yeah, I assume engineering is looking at this pretty good, because I know Home Depot showed some major concerns about flooding due to the I-20 access road. They were pretty confident that that property would be useless, so I'm assuming that they solved those problems internally before they...
I don't think that we have done a full construction plat. Mr. Snap can correct me if I'm wrong,
There's not
but
been a full construction plat. There's a detention pond just located just south of that is gonna have to be evaluated along and incorporated with the new access roads of I-20 along that way. So the drainage is gonna be a challenge. I'm not gonna say it's easy or 1, 2, 3, but it will be a challenge. So the detention pond's gonna have to be evaluated and calculated from there.
I just knew,
More work to be done.
I was about to say, I know that they were extremely concerned in the past, so I guess that they've come to grips with that now, so that's,
yes, that was definitely something that we discussed when we met with them in the past. And they wanted to go ahead and move forward with the zoning prior to doing all of the engineering and such, but that will definitely be something that has to be approved and shown everything before we move forward with anything.
Thank you, sir. Any other commissioners have any questions for staff in regards to SUP 23-11?
Yes, I have a question in regards to the access into the property. So I see there's Windsor Avenue there. So does it mean that Home Depot will give them some kind of shared easement access into their property?
That would be something they would need before they're able to move forward with the construction plat. That's correct.
Okay.
And they are aware of that. That is another topic that we discussed at our Development Review Committee meeting. Yes, sir.
Any other questions for staff? Do I have a motion on the floor? In regards to SUP 23-11?
Move that we approve SUP 23-11.
I have a motion to approve SUP 23-11. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion is approved. All right, gentlemen, we're down to the action items. 7.1, discuss and consider a final plat for key additions, lots 1 and 2, Block A, being 9.4878 acres out of the Davis Harrison Survey, Abstract 199. City of Terrell, ETJ, Kaufman County, Texas, FP 23-26.
Commissioners, before you, there is a final plat for the key addition lots 1 and 2. If you look on your screen before you, you will see that property is there. You can see that it's currently 2 parcels. There is a single-family home on that area with a long access on 1392. This property is in our ETJ, and so based off of that, the city has no zoning authority, just plating authority. So they are in our ETJ, so they are in the county, but they will have to plat through us. The next slide will show how they want to plat. They're dividing this into two lots. Lot 1 that is fronting 1392 is about 7.4 acres, and that's a lot in the back. And then Lot 2 that is fronting 1392 is gonna be a little under 2 acres. It's kind of hard to see on your screen, but you'll see on the right there, there is an access easement that they are platting through this plat, so they will have access off of 1392. And staff recommends approval of the final plat, and I will answer any questions.
I have questions for staff in regards to FE 23-26. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the final plat for lots 1 and 2, Block A, being 9.4878 acres out of the David Harris Survey. Abstract number 199, City of Terrell, ETJ, Kaufman County, Texas.
I have a motion to approve final plat 23-26. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion approved. Action item 7.2, discuss and consider a final plat for the Midland Heights Addition, Lot 6R, Block 1, being a replat of a portion of the unrecorded Midland Heights Addition, being 2.297 acres out of the W Rail Survey, abstract number 418, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, FP 23-27.
Commissioners, we have a final plat here that might look a little familiar to you. This is the property that was recently approved for a planned development. I believe you guys saw this last month, and it did go to council on October 10th, and it did get approved, ordinance 3008. Mr. Hunt has come forward with the property and is wanting to make this one lot in order to move forward with his development. So since we have a couple different lots currently here, he will have to final plat the property in order to move forward. So we're gonna skip the step of a construction plat. However, he will have to come back and do a full construction plat on the property, showing everything for civils and fire, which you guys will see again, hopefully in the near future, and then he would be able to move forward. We've talked to Mr. Hunt, and there's been nothing but good things on this, so we're excited about this, and staff does recommend approval of the final plat, and I will answer any questions.
This is where they're gonna put those townhomes, correct?
Yes, sir, these are gonna be the townhome development.
Any questions for staff in regards to FP 23-27? Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the final plat for Midland Heights Addition, Lot 6R, Block 1, being a replat of the portion of the unrecorded Midland Heights Addition, being 2.297 acres out of the W Rail Survey, abstract number 418, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas.
I have a motion to approve final plat 23-27. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Nope, motion approved. Okay, looks like that's it for today. Meeting's adjourned. Do we have anything, questions from staff in regards to next month's meeting?
No, I will just make y'all aware that we will not be having a PNC meeting on the 4th Thursday. It will be the 3rd Thursday.
Okay, same as.
So I won't
moved up
make
like
you guys
this.
come in that close to Christmas.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a good evening.